All right. Hello, everyone. Oh, good start. Welcome back to another art video, my second one. Now, in last month's episode, just kidding, that was 2 days ago. Um, actually, let me cover the basics right now of what's going on, how cozy maxing that we're doing. So, first of all, I had a bowl of cereal. There's still some in here, but I'm just gonna drink the milk that's out of it. 'Cause it's pretty good. It's a Life. It's like the Life cereal, except it was like chocolate. It's like brand new. It was it was alright. It wasn't the greatest. Um, I always say I'm not a huge fan of chocolate cereal, and then I eat it, and it's good, and then I finish it, and then I want to throw up. So I have a very capricious appetite. And capricious is also the name. No one cares about that. Okay, I was just gonna go random. Also, I have on my phone. I figured this would be more cozy, because in the last episode I just shoved headphones in my ears, like these Bluetooth headphones, but they weren't like playing anything. So I thought it would just drown out the sound of my brothers, and I would feel like I guess better. But I figured, well, let's play some calming music. And in my last episode, my gaming episode, when I was playing Isaac, I would, I mentioned my like favorite game of all time. And that was Mario and Luigi's Bowser's Inside Story, which I have on this DS here. And one of the songs I remember, or just the OST, is when you're chilling in the in one of his Bowser's areas. His colon. I don't know anywhere. I mean, you go everywhere inside Bowser, so it could be anywhere. And you have to do like a quest or whatever, where you have to actually just wait a very long time, and you have tea with a toad, an old toad guy, and there's a very nice music that plays. It's supposed to be this moment of relaxation, and it's very nice. So that's what I have playing on loop for like 30 minutes. I'll probably have to like replay the video because this video is gonna be longer than 30 minutes, obviously. But it's relaxing as well with a candle here and the Greed Butt Tushy mouse pad. I feel like that will bring me some comfort as well, you know. But anyway, without further ado, I'm just gonna move on. So, in last year, 2,000 million years ago, I drew this for. Oh, well, you guys cannot see that. I'm so stupid. I drew this guy. I fully drew him up now, so I had shading. I drew hard on the paper. I have to look at OBS while I'm doing this, otherwise I'll drop it into a billion pieces. So yeah, I drew him. Um, I'm gonna probably just keep it like here. It's so hard for you guys to see. The lighting isn't the best, but uh, hopefully you guys can see it well. I'm gonna try to move this candle maybe. That'll help. No, I think it needs like less light actually. But well, I drew this guy. I think if I drew with a Sharpie, it would be better. But oh, there you go. That's good. That's very good. Um, I maybe will explain him in this video as I draw a new character, and then what I think. I don't know. Well, it'd be weird if I drew a new character, and as I'm drawing that character, I explain the other character. So, I guess I'll just do a quick explanation after I draw each character in like a new video. I'll try to do it in the same video as well. Um, so this guy, I mean, the thing is, like I said, it's hard for me to explain one character, so I have to explain the entire universe of characters that we made. All three of us. Let me just erase this smudging that's going on here. But I'm just gonna try to put it simply. I don't want it like it's hard to do this. So, the main world we introduced as we went drawing was it's just like this, basically our own universe where it's a different planet, much like Earth, where we're just still humans. There's just different continents and all that, different creatures, and mainly I'm trying to do this very mainly because we actually put so much lore into it. There's like two main continents. One has like a lot of wild creatures on it and a lot of weird establishments with just crazy wacky things. Like there'd be like just creatures and creatures that run businesses, things that like you know what I mean, right? Just a very wacky, wild world where if I think of something, it's in that like region, in that area, and then the other big continent is just a place full of humans that absolutely hate those creatures and try to form like a war or a union against them. So it's just mainly those things, and then other like islands, like tropical areas or like Antarctic places where uh, other characters will travel to just for context and all that. Um, but this guy, um, oh yeah, I should explain. So in the area where there's wild creatures and everywhere, my brother, because we each had our own like businesses that we would make, and with our own like uh, characters that would run the businesses with more characters that we would make inside of them, and then we would make comics about them talking to each other and going on certain like quests and doing cool things. It's a very awesome. But Gavin's main, or I'm saying Gavin, but my brother, who made the main building in the wacky area. Oh, I should explain the. Actually, maybe I should draw these islands. I do. I am gonna draw a second character, but I want to draw this. So I just. This is gonna be very very rough, but I'm just gonna draw circles to explain because I feel like that'd be better. So this is. I'm gonna do this like the weird wacky one, and then I'll do like a simple circle. So this one will be like just wacky. I guess +2. But yeah, he created the main business, which again the business owner has a lot of lore. He's originally human, but he's not. Whatever. And that guy's name is Doom. Oops. That wow. Holy. Guys, it's 12 a.m. I'm so sorry. That guy's name is Doomsday, and so is his business. So his business is called like Doomsday, whatever, Doomsday Co. And I forgot what Gavin told me that business was. It was like it's not a hotel or anything, but it's like I think it's like a data center or just a center where, you can work there. I forgot specifically what it was, but Doomsday, the so-called human guy who lives in that region, he hires a lot of just wacky creatures that want the job or things, and a lot of those characters that we made have backstories. So while they're still working for this Doomsday guy, um, they also are going on their own life. I want to name a couple, but because that's just Gavin's business and enterprise. But it's hard to explain what creatures in that area did their own thing. It's hard to say. I know there's like he had made creatures where they would have their own like it's like their own bars, their own like clubs or whatever. But they would still run their business outside of Doomsday's, and in Doomsday's, it's very complicated. It's hard to explain. That's Doomsday's. It's pretty cool. That's the biggest enterprise on. Oh, I should name the two continents. So this one is called Both, and this one is called Hynea. I remember. So Hynea, it's kind of sounds like human. It doesn't sound like human at all, I know. And then Both is just whatever. I forgot what Both was supposed to be. And the creatures on Both, while they vary, they can be anything from like the creatures that we perceive on Earth. So like a Wendigo could be on Both. An anthropomorphic deer could be on Both. Anything you think of can be on Both. And those are just called one thing. They're called Botho. Oh, I should purchase it. They're called Bothogromorphics. Morphics. So it's just a creature on Both. It's a Bothogromorphic, and its own species. It's just referred to as a Bothogromorphic because it lives on Both. But what it is actually just what it is. So if I had like just like I'll give a really random example, like a pile of goo with like an eyeball or two in it that lives on Both, that runs its own like I don't know freaking barbershop. I'm just dealing with random things. It would be a Bothogomorphic, but it also relate to its own species as like wherever it came from outer space or whatever, or it came from like a sewer. And it would have its own species name, but all creatures are referred to as Bothogomorphic. And on Hynea, they're just humans, so they're called humans, and they're not very nice over there. We didn't make a lot of comics about them, as you can see why, but they were involved with a lot of conflicts with Both and the president of Both. And the president of Both is a hybrid bird thing that was made by my other brother, Grayson, or Gray, and Gray's main business was also on Both, And that was I think he had a couple, but so there's one called Splitter, and it was run by a guy whose head was split open, which is pretty cool. And then I had my own, um, and that was it was what was it called? I initially I called it Hell House. I forgot what I changed it to because I think I was like massively inspired by Hasbin Hotel, but then I kind of like cut it off immediately. It's like, well, this is pretty much ripping off the same thing. So I just like changed it in my mind forever, where I'm gonna have like Doomsday like actually just find a way, because I'm gonna have a way for Both to not have demons or angels or just the portals to hell and heaven yet. I'm gonna have if we do future comics, I want there to be a cool story where Doomsday somehow opens the rift to hell and heaven, and he actually goes through a lot of bad things when he does that, and because I guess I'm inspired by a lot of cool recent things, so I'll make the story like not just like, oh, he opens a portal and then he sees cool demon guy and the demon guy wants to run the business with him. I'll be like, no, I would make him like open the portal and he falls into this like weird plane of dimension, because you're opening a portal to like the afterlife, which is like not the same as like this area of time and space. So it would be like Mother Horse Eyes esque, except the weird fourth dimensional hellish landscape would just be, instead of a person, it would be just a landscape where he opens a portal and then he falls into this like brain breaking area where it's hell, and he can perceive every worst thing that you can imagine, like dying people and just like satanic crap. And that would be my perception of hell and his perception of hell when he opens it. I'm not gonna have him somehow meet up with the guy that I named that made, which is the third largest business on Both, called well, I mean, I want to call it Hell House, but no, I don't. So I'm probably just gonna rename it to something else, or um, I'll figure that out. But I'll just do HH, since I really don't like the name, since again it was a couple years ago and I was inspired by that, but I don't want it to be like that anymore, because my perception of hell or it would be a lot different than that. So I'll just call HH, which is run by. Also, I'm gonna put Grayson's on here as well. So Splitter, and then the guy who runs Hell House is a guy I made is someone I made a very long time ago when we were just starting to make those businesses on Both, and his name is Amogaro, kind of a weird ass name, or Ammo for short. So it's Amogaro, or AMO just for ammo, and Ammo, Doomsday, and I want to say Splitter, but I think it was a different person instead. It was, oh no, this is the thing with Grayson kind of had like a lot of different businesses that were huge, so I gotta ask him what's his main one. I think it would be not Splitter. It would actually be Bonzo or something. Forgot his stupid name. I genuinely don't remember, but yeah, something like that. I don't want to talk about it too much, but yeah, basically what I'm trying to get here is that we made this world where we have this eccentric area full of creatures where a lot of stories are made, and then we have this other like area on the planet where conflicts will arise because all the humans are on there, and that's what we're gonna make our future stories out of. Where like the intro will be like, oh hi, I'm Doomsday or whatever. This is like how we live on this earth and how I came to be. So that'll be Gavin's main part, and then my next part would be like, oh, how Doomsday in real time somehow opens like these portals and then meets this guy named Ammo where he wants to start a business, and I don't know, it'll be cool because I have so many comics, like I said, of Ammo, but that's when I just put him on the earth, and I just made a business called Hell House, which was again heavily inspired, where he would recruit all these demons into that house or into this apartment, and then that's everything that you do. So it's kind of just like very ripped off, and I really want to change it. So that's what I'm doing in these next new comics that we'll somehow create in the future. but Ammo went through actually a lot. So I'm gonna have Ammo go through. Uh, I'm gonna have Ammo go through a war between hell and heaven. That'll be really cool for him because I've already. By the way, everything about to mention has already been done. So there's already comics made about that war. I'm gonna have Ammo go through his life as not a demon, but because he had a previous life where he actually killed his mother, and that's how he ended up in hell. I'm gonna have him go through the memories of that, and it's just gonna be very interesting because I really want to develop that character, and also develop his friendship with Doomsday and other characters. It's just gonna be really cool. But I'm bringing this all up because I want to talk about this guy here, just so you know what the world is like. Ozzy, if I remember, because I actually have the two comics right here. So these two, I named both of these because I thought they were pretty good creations. Again, these are slot now because it was a while ago. So the first one is called Vacation Feast. And that is when Ozzy is a human. Ozzy's a human, and he's just this business guy that he's this mysterious business guy that lives on Both, and hang on, oof. He is rich because of his like master cook father, who was like a legendary cook, so that's why he has a lot of money, and he uses his money for his own evil reason, and I guess I could try to flip through this. He uses that money to send Doomsday, owner of Doomsday Enterprises, send Doomsday this cool letter where he's inviting them all to a tropical resort where they will like all the food will be paid for, all the cool stuff will be paid for. He's inviting Doomsday and a few select members of his corporation, so a few creatures, to join him on this cool adventure. And you can already tell off the bat that it's very shady and very freaking weird, but they go along with it because they do enough research and like, well, I mean, might as well. All of our characters are pretty stupid anyway, so it's like, well, might as well. And they all go to the island all prepared, or the resort, they're all nice and prepared. And we get some cool background of what Ozzy actually is, where he has a buffagomorphic gray dog in a boiler room, and he is trying to use spices on him and cook him alive to eat him. And he's using his good old friend Iron, Iron is just this weird mysterious guy in a welder's mask, who is kind of an unwilling participant, or who he actually used to be a creature as well, but Ozzy took him into his own hands, so that he could torture the dog as well. But then Doomsday and his crew, so they don't see any of that happening. They go, and then Ozzy welcomes them to the cool island. We get some more backdrop of him cooking the dog's arm off and all that, and him being mad or whatever. And all this other, like, in between all this is all these cool other characters that we've made, just interacting with each other and being confused as to why this is all happening. But they go along with it. They're like, hey, we get to go swimming. We get to see cute bunnies in swimsuits. So it's like, hey, let's do this. So there's a lot of all the filler stuff is cool little, little convos in between. Just building up more character between some of these relationships and all that. And then, some more backdrop where, Ozzy is like not a good person. He's the reason why Ozzy is doing all this in the first place is because his father was such an avid chef that he just wants. Ozzy is such a creative person. He wants to cook every creature on the planet and taste wants to see what they taste like. So he just wants to like consume like all of their flesh and just like have this. He's like Gordon Ramsay on absolute like AIDS. Like he wants to try them. He will not stop killing just to get like a taste of their flesh and see how it tastes. It's pretty cool, I guess. Yeah, there's more filler stuff. And obviously, so Ammo here. This is going back to Ammo, where he didn't get invited or whatever, or Amogaro, so owner of Hell House. He didn't get invited, so he's like, well, might as well do some research into this freaking goober that invited my friend Doomsday into a resort. And they find out what kind of person he actually is, and they want to go save his ass. But it might already be too late for like some of Doomsday's people. And then Ozzy begins on I forgot what day it was. That's on like the 7th day. He begins the feast where all the members will go into this huge banquet hall and have the best of meals, all cooked by Ozzy, by his father's recipe. These big, golden, beautiful doors. And they all sit there, and it's very nice. Iron is actually there too, the guy who's in the welder's mask. He's there. He talks to this Russian Gadikan dog, which is a species on Both that's from High North. It's a Russian dog, basically. It's a dog that speaks Russian. And he meets Iron. They talk a bit, and obviously he gets a little suspicious of the guy. And then Ozzy is there, and he's like, bring out the banquet. He's just being all lighthearted, like, we're about to have a good time and eat. And everyone is like, also happy, but again, still just a tiny, tiny bit on edge. And then that's when I think, oh yeah, that's right, Ozzy just gasses the room. He just gas chambers the room and pretty much knocks everyone out. It doesn't work on the Gadikan wolf, so Iron stabs him in the throat with a fork, or a needle, I should say. And that is when Ozzy wants to pretty much eat everyone and kill them all. So it's like oh no, everyone's like actually just going to die. So it's high stakes here. And Ozzy walks around the table, greeting all of the almost passed out people. He talks to Doomsday, and Doomsday's girlfriend is a fox, and obviously Ozzy wants to eat that creature because it would taste good, and he goes up to Doomsday and asks him what it would like if he were to eat his girlfriend in very bad ways. More filler stuff, and then Ozzy grabs Doomsday's his wife or whatever the frick, I forget, and he's gonna make her drink this elixir that he's created, because he's created this. He created this weird substance that will make the meat on whoever drinks it taste like really, really good. So that's what he did to the dog in the basement. It's his father's like secret recipe, but in his own twisted way, where he made the dog drink it. It's like basically poison, so it kills them very, very slowly, but also enriching their meat. So he tries to make his girlfriend do that, and she resists, and he's gonna stab her with a fork. And then he's like he's basically ranting when all of a sudden Ammo in his war uniform, because he was out of war, but he just put back in, I guess. Ammo comes in, crashes in with a freaking gun and everything, crashes through the freaking window, and then beats the shit out of Ozzy, basically. Fucking knocks him straight in the nose. And then, a lot of fighting ensues, and then they actually take Ozzy down. They don't kill him, but they take him down, and they rescue everyone. All's well, I guess. And then they rescue the gray dog, and his arm is burnt off, which is why he's called the one-armed dog now. And he joined the Doomsday's enterprises. So it all goes well. So is Iron here. Iron here was an unwilling participant, where Ozzy held him in his grasp, and he gets saved as well. And Ozzy, I think on the other hand, he literally gets tied up from everyone, and he gets questioned and all that. He gets questioned by Succubus, which is interesting. I don't know why we chose that, but he's pissed off. But yeah, he ties up. Everyone goes home, and a rescue police helicopter. They obviously called authorities, and they put Ozzy in like fucking prison to high hell, and they shut that whole resort down and cleaned it all up, and everyone goes home and is fucking traumatized. So all goes very, very well, and then it's to be continued, which is in the second story. But I'm just trying to explain who Ozzy is, because he used to be human. Um, I'm not doing any drawing here, by the way. This video is gonna be pretty long, guys. I just need to get. I need to. I like to explain the character. You know. I might as well. I might as well do it. You know. And then the second series is more about Ozzy and like who he was, and that is called the Starving Cultist, where oh, he's very happy in this version. I forgot there's a lot of filler between this, but I think I don't remember what happens, but let's see. I have to remember because I'm actually forgetting now. I can't remember if he escaped prison or they just let him out. I don't remember. I don't actually remember. I don't remember because there was some filler between them all this. I don't remember. But somehow Ozzy gets out of the prison because he escapes and he meets this he meets this bunny in the woods as he's stumbling about because he's running away from prison, so he's in the middle of actually nowhere. You know, so he escapes prison. He's mentally like just not good, and then he meets this bunny where she is also just like I mean she's out in the wild. She has her own backstory as well, where she was raised by a lumberjack that would just it would hunt for her and feed her. It found her when it basically the lumberjack guy whose name is Lear, Leer, and he has no eyes, which is kind of cool. That's Grayson's creation, not mine. But Lear finds her as a little bunny a lot of years ago, lost in the woods, and he's like, "Well, I'm initially just gonna kill and eat this thing," but then he sees like something very very weird in her eyes. He's like, "Interesting. I might have to just raise this one, and maybe use it to catch things for me," and that's what he does. And she ends up being a very very good like hunter for other animals, like even killing other bunnies like herself, just for her new father. And eventually it becomes not animals, it becomes humans that Lear wants to consume, and she ends up eating humans as well, which is cool because Ozzy gets released out of prison. When he doesn't get released, he somehow escapes, like unnoticed. By the way, I trust me. There's like no filler. It's hard to explain, but he does get out in some way, shape, or form. Even after he like tried to kill people, he either escapes like just sneakily. I don't know. I forget. But it's cool. It's this cool contrast because it's like, well, there's a guy who has eaten like animals or eaten people animals that he's not supposed to because it's against the law on Both to literally eat people, even though people are like animals and creatures. And it's this cool contrast because he meets this freaking rabbit in the woods that eats humans, and they kind of spark it off immediately. They try to relocate and all that, and eventually just become the rabbit girl eventually finds this home of animals called I think it's is it the AIC? I can't remember. No, it's not the AIC. Oh, it's a different group. The AIC was the animal something club, or I forgot what it was, but that was a completely different thing. It's this tree house in the middle of the woods. It's this unmarked tree house that she lives in after leaving her father, and has a lot of other cool animals on there that they initially welcome Ozzy with full arms because they're like, well, as he's a lost human, we might as well. And she brings him in because, well, he's human. She wants to kill him and eat him, and Ozzy wants to go into that treehouse because he wants to kill all of them and eat them. So it's this cool little thing that happens, but that doesn't actually happen. They become lovers, obviously. So they become good lovers, and they somehow refix both of their lives in about. So while they're still not very good people, they have fixed their lives, and obviously, like Doomsday doesn't know any of this. Ammo doesn't know any of this, but it's this whole separate story that Ozzy lives. He's like, well, I mean, I'm just gonna try to live life now with this thing, this bunny that I love, but I want to eat like so bad, and she feels the same way basically. So it's just really cool. No, my music. Why did you auto-click on that? You mackled. Hey guys, Facebook Marketplace. Oh, let's go, guys. I don't want to listen to Friday Night Funkin' Low, bro. Thank you. But yeah, it's a school contrast, and in this story, I'm gonna try to make it so very short because it's been 30 minutes. So in the story, they go about in the treehouse. They have good times. He talks with all. He basically, this is where he gets introduced in the treehouse and meets all these other things. Where he's initially like, oh, I really want to eat them, but then another part of him is telling me like, no, dude, like you just got out of prison, and well, you didn't get out, but you escaped, and you can't risk anything else because you just met this bunny person. Oh, by the way, the bunny's name is Diva, so I'm just gonna refer to her as that. And Ozzy develops this weird skill where he can like climb in trees very, very well. It's just all of a sudden where he's very happy and he's up in trees a lot, and Diva is obviously confused by that. So, and then obviously explains his backstory, like I said, master chef, and how he baked. His dad was a master chef that baked food for him, and it was really good. And how the secret recipe, the secret right sauce, because his name is Ozzy Wright, so it's called the right sauce. Get it? It's a good thing. But people loved his father's right sauce so much that it became like the biggest seasoning on the planet. And Ozzy's mother was a very like good businesswoman that would promote the sauce. So it was this really good thing. He had like Ozzy had the best parents. Which is kind of weird how he became who he was. It was just out of pure need for like just wanting to make food, or wanting to make people. And then basically how the story comes along is Ozzy is taking a spring bath out in the woods, and he sees this freaking creepy ass like thing in the woods in a cult uniform that drops him off a weird package with a fork that says his name, and it's a piece of rabbit meat with like blood all over it, and it says I know you're hungry for some on it. I mean, you guys probably can't see anything, but it says I know you're hungry for some. And Ozzy gets like his brain becomes just like it just switches where he's like, oh, holy shit. He becomes insatiably hungry, but then he tries to get a hold of himself and all that. And this goober in the bushes is the thing that's going to be stalking him and the rest of his crew until the bad thing inevitably happens to him. So he talks about it, more filler stuff, and eventually the bunny girl also takes a spring bath, and she also sees the same figure, and she finds a mutilated rodent rabbit in the woods. It just says see the bunny sleeping until it's nearly noon on it. She becomes engrossed by it. So they're both very confused. They have not told each other about it. They go a lot more filler stuff happens, but there's very shady stuff basically going around the area, the treehouse, and it's not good. And then there's more backdrop lore, how Diva became to be, basically in the same format as how Ozzy came to be. And then, Ozzy is getting a little more like disturbed because his hunger is coming back, and the way that I portrayed the way I want to portray like his hunger, because I couldn't do it in like words, so I did it in this really really cool visual aspect where I made like this mosaic appear around him, where it would be like sharp and there's triangles and shapes, and that would be like the representation of his absolute like desire for like, just wanting to eat something. And you'll see that in a lot of the text around here, where there's like little sharp things around him, and the text around him will become like just mosaic. And also in this drawing, which is why I made it, so technically you actually just can't see any of this on his head, but it's just a representation of his hunger, and it spirals about. I thought that was a really cool addition that I did. But that's how I portrayed his hunger in these series. So he'll get these sharper bursts of where he was hungry, and he's pretty freaking scared because this thing is in the woods. And there's some backstory, and then there's some more backstory about the Bothian police department, and they're like, where the heck did Ozzy go? He's freaking gone. We gotta capture this guy and lock him up forever. Um, so actually, no, that's not what that was about. The Boston Police Department is actually talking about the robed figure in the woods. They're like, this robed figure is out and about, and this is actually not the first time he's struck. So this is what they're talking about. And then this area, they're like, hey chief, this guy is back. This robed guy is back, and they're like, oh crap, well, that's not good. But then they're like, well, he's back, but he's with Ozzy. uh, and they're like, well, that's very not good because first of all, Ozzy should be in prison, and second of all, what is that robed figure doing with that guy? It's like, what the hell? Uh, More backdrop stuff. Ozzy and Diva go on a date or whatever. I don't know, a lot of random stuff. The FBI hires this absolute dickhead. He's pretty much the most useless character I've ever made because he only appears in like this panel. Doesn't do anything else. And then Ozzy has this very very like horrible dream where he's in the middle of a small canoe or like a wooden canoe in the middle of the ocean, and you can see that I made here. He's in this canoe and there's like all the mosaic coming out of the canoe and his rotting bodies in the canoe. And it tells him that you're starving, and he wakes up from the dream, like drooling profusely, sleeping right next to Diva, his bunny girlfriend. And then I wrote text above here that tells him to just take a bite or whatever. And then he eventually just stabs her, and as soon as he stabs her, he obviously like just retaliates. He's like, oh shit, well, I'm done. I'm absolutely over now. I can't even stay here. I can't do anything. So he stabs her. He's pretty fucked up. She feels absolutely betrayed, and then he runs off into the woods, and it's a pretty sad moment where he's kind of overridden by control, and then he's in the middle of the woods crying like a doom ass, crying like a baby, and that's when the robed figure steps up to him and introduces himself as Lord Igor, this satanic fucking figure. And there's a lot of cool conversation that goes here, where Ozzy's and like he's absolutely like he's in so much distress where he's like half of him he's like wanting to eat like something like right now, and the other half of him is like it's over for me. I'm dead. Like I'm it's actually just over. And Lord Igor gives him a present of meat, and Ozzy doesn't want it. He's like, you have to like go away. And then Lord Igor feeds it to him, and at that moment, Ozzy, as soon as he gets one taste, he just becomes back to his original self. He's like, well, I'm gonna start killing people all over again, and he becomes this guy is basically companion / slave to Lord Igor, this weird satanic figure in the woods. And that's when Ozzy is like, well, what the hell do I do now? He's kind of possessed by this hunger, as well as Lord Igor's influence. And he wears a robe, and he goes back to the treehouse with Lord Igor, and he finds his bunny girlfriend. They kidnap her, and it's this moment where it's like, well, Ozzy just stabbed her, ran off, and then like an hour later, he comes back. She's still in the treehouse, and she's like, "Well, what, dear God, what are you doing, Ozzy?" And he's changed from like, "I'm sorry that I did this" to like, "Well, I'm just gonna kill you now." So, and then so they trap her. A lot of little tidbits. They wrap her up, and they're gonna eat her on. Back at the treehouse, they know that she's gone, so they're calling the police and all that. And the police are arriving very fast. So these last pages are where it's like it's this like intense moment where the police are on their way, but Ozzy needs to figure out like he's gotta kill this thing and eat it. He has to, or like he's just gonna like die. Igor is there, standing there behind him the whole time, as this demonic influence. And then Ozzy takes the mask off like Dream. I'm just kidding, guys. I'm joking. Ozzy takes the mask off, talks to the bunny girl, where he says he's gonna kill her and, eat her alive, basically. You can see it here. And then we get a cut to, the police, and how, they're gonna the police are bringing a very, very well known actual pope, the best pope on Bath, to deal with Lord Igor, because Lord Igor was like a very demonic influence. So they bring the best pope to somehow deal with it. So the police are like, well, we can't do anything because first of all, it's it's Lord Igor. B, it's Ozzy, right? What the hell are we supposed to do? So they get like the pope, and they're like, might as well try to crucify this thing. And then there's some more tidbits where Ozzy feeds the bunny girl the poison that he made, and he's gonna basically eat her alive at that point. And then the police finally arrive at the scene with the Pope, and they see Lord Igor, and we have this intense moment between the Pope and Lord Igor. All the while, Ozzy is going to basically chop this bunny's head off, and then gets interrupted by more policemen. And then I have this like cool thing where there's like I really hope you guys can see that, where there's snipers in the bushes, and there's the police right there, and they said like, well, we got you, Ozzy, get the hell out of here, bud. And then Ozzy becomes possessed by Lord Igor and all of his hunger, and a lot of weird stuff is happening, and then he changes. His whole body rips apart, and they are absolutely horrified, and he turns into this bird thing, which is actually what his true form is, because his mother was a I forgot what it was. His mother was it's called a multigramorphic, where they can change from human to another animal. His mother was a multigramorphic bird of some sort. I forgot what the type of bird was, but Ozzy turns into a bird basically because it unlocks his very hidden gene, where it basically rips him apart from all his like hunger, and from Lord Igor as well. Just absolutely just kills him, and Ozzy becomes this like Resident Evil boss thing, where the police are like, well, we have to kill this goddamn thing because he's gonna like actually just kill us all, and so Ozzy starts just absolutely going ham. He stabs the Pope with one of his legs. He goes by the cops. He rips he rips their masks off, and he makes them drink his he makes him drink his cool Ozzy Wright sauce, and all the cops try to fire at him, but it does nothing. And then Ozzy gets interrupted by angels basically, and these angels are another story basically, because it's a whole thing behind Both. He gets interrupted by these angels that are here to intervene, and to put it simply, they basically stop Ozzy extremely right in his tracks. They're like, well, you gotta stop, and they're like, it's over for you. Yeah, you're done, Ozzy. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm just gonna eat all of you anyways, because I'm a cool bird guy. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And one of the main angels, which is actually Ammo here. I'll explain that in a probably future video. This is Ammo, the demon guy, who's also an angel. He uses his angelic powers to like just eliminate Ozzy, just shoot a beam out from his eyes and just smite him, but it doesn't actually kill him. It just kills all of the influence within him, and he falls to the ground, basically paralyzed. Where is this? And it's after that, it's just like a standstill where it's like, oh shit. Also, where's Lord Igor? He's gone. So it's like, well, we have this like massive criminal who's a bird now, and we gotta take him and figure out what the hell to do with him. But also, who were these angels that just came out of nowhere? So it's just very like, just scary. And then everything settles slightly, and then we have Ozzy and Diva both at the hospital in the same room. Also, I don't know why they're in the same room in the hospital. You think they would think about that, but we didn't. And they somehow rejoice. I guess it's mainly because that massacre was not really his fault. It was Lord Igor, this weird demonic thing that was in the woods. That we don't. That he's still on the loose, by the way. So they reconnect, and Ozzy is a like his mother. Ozzy is a multi-gramorphic where he can be from bird to man whenever he pleases, and they rejoice. He's very depressed that he tried to kill her, but eventually they become friends again. I generally don't know how, but they do. They meet up, and Ozzy goes back to the treehouse where they they are absolutely like they are livid that he's even there. But Ozzy explains it all, and it's somewhat of a happy ending, um, where Ozzy's a bird now. They rejoice. He carries her in his arms. It's a nice happy ending to one of the most schizo things that's happened in these past two comics, where Ozzy changes back to his form, and it's the last two words are thanks Diva, and it's a good moment. By the way, I know that I've said that she was also like an insane bunny person that would kill people, but I think that just kind of like ended somewhere in the comic where he tried to just kill her basically, and where she knew that she actually had true love for him. She was like, well, I can't eat people. I'm not gonna do that anymore. I'm still gonna hunt small creatures because she's a diva. Get it, guys? Okay, I'm so sorry. But that is basically Ozzy's backstory, from this really wealthy guy who had very good wealthy parents, but he used that money for bad. When he tried to make his own resort, that would just be the only reason for the resort was so that he could eat more exotic animals in very wrong ways. So he'd make animals extinct and just eat all of them. And that would he invited some of the biggest corporations, but obviously they found out, which is why the other corporations stepped in to rescue, and then Isaac got thrown in jail, escaped somehow, without the police knowing. All the while, the other businesses resumed on their way because they had other things to do except being eaten by this freaking goober. And Ozzy meets this bunny person who invites him over to this cool area, and then he meets up with her. They have a good time. They share their stories and they become very good friends. Eventually lovers. And then Ozzy meets this thing in the forest that is basically, it's not Satan, but it's this weird high demonic force that can't be stopped, called Lord Igor. And Lord Igor knows that Ozzy is so strong that he wants to use him as like a companion, and so he does. And so Ozzy, eventually tries to kill everyone at your house. And time for a break, YouTube. Man, shut you. Anyways, but then obviously the angels intervene. They stop Lord Igor, eventually stopping Ozzy right, and then it's just this huge calm thing. So it's just this huge well, that was just a huge mess, but everyone is traumatized, but still, it's a good ending because it's just nice, I guess. If that doesn't make any sense, then I'm sorry, but that's the way I made it. I can change it, obviously. I'm not gonna write a book about it, but we have comics that are very old. But that's just who Ozzy right is. That was 42 minutes of explaining who this guy is. I probably could have done that in 3 if I'm smart, but I'm not a smart human being, so. But that's Ozzy in his changed form. He's also holding his iconic fork because he has an iconic black fork all throughout the comics that he spins on his hands. And that's the way I draw him, is with his cool ass fork. This is when he changed into his bird form, and was basically possessed by Lord Igor, and also possessed by hunger, or the pure want for other meat. But I hope you guys like that character description. I'm gonna draw my next character because I actually have to do that. So yeah, that's one of the just that again. That's a good example of just one character. By the way, one character, and how much lore we put into one character. So when I say that we have a whole chest over there, that's like 100 pounds, and there's like 100 notebooks in there, all with stories. I'm saying there's like over 100 characters just like that have so much lore, and I'm this is my I've drawn that guy, and it's been like 40 minutes, and I also drew a video. I had a video where I was drawing him the whole time, but I was explaining more about life. So you know. But now I'm gonna draw something new, and this guy is this guy's not. I can't remember if he's. Let me look at my posters. I actually have posters of this guy on the wall because he became a good series in my school. Oh yeah, he does live on Bath. And to put it very simply, I don't want it to be cringe because I know this will be cringe. He's I would say he's a serial killer, but there's so much lore. He doesn't actually kill other people. He just kills his own family. But I just spoiled the whole thing there. But yes, people he does kill all of his family. But this guy, he doesn't have like, he's not a developing character essentially. He's just this cool idea I had where it all this lore ties into not just a cool creepy guy who kills these police people or these these officers, but that these officers are very related to him, and it becomes this bloodline murder thing where he's kind of again, it's this possession thing. He's possessed by his mother's influence. I will try to explain him in the video. I guess I'm gonna be spoiling everything because I actually wanted to make this into like a huge series, but if I'm gonna be doing that, it's gonna be so hard to not spoil everything. If it becomes like a game or a story or a novel, it would spoil actually everything. I've already spoiled most of it, but it's very nice. Or even I initially wanted it to be analog horror, but it didn't turn out well. But I think what I'm gonna do is just draw him because he's just really fun to draw. And then I'm just gonna, I guess, explain a tiny bit about him. I'm not gonna explain him in the next video because I don't want to like do all the lore and all that. But I do have cool posters on my wall so I can show you. I would have to move the camera or something. But I have posters on the walls where I actually made them in high school. I should start drawing as I'm doing this. But I have these. I think I have two posters that are kind of like a mix between a collage and like just a cool police report. And I made those in high school because I was really inspired. Well, not inspired. I just made them because he was really cool at the time. And actually, yeah, I should draw this. My teacher really liked them. They're right. I'm looking at them right now, but oh, that's right. That's right. I forgot where he actually came from. I gotta grab one of my notebooks. You guys are gonna be like actually shocked when you hear where this guy actually came from. Like, also I'm gonna grab a drink as well. So I'll be right back in like 3 seconds. Okay, got my drink. And I have to go look for that comic thing. That thing could actually just be anywhere. Oh, where are you? Oh no, guys, this is impossible. Oh jeez, this is gonna take forever. Oh, I found it. Oh, I actually found it. Oh, I got it. I actually got it, guys. Whew, I'm surprised I was able to find it in that freaking chest. Wow. My blanket's being goofy, bro. Oh, bro. I'm gonna fall over and freaking die. Okay, so this character spawned from absolute boredom, and also wanting to be like very funny because it was me and my brothers were in the basement. And hang on, I gotta take a drink. Oh, so this music is like, this is helping more than you guys realize. If you're ever doing like a video, if you guys are ever doing something like where you need to study, or you need to draw, or just have a relaxed time, play this on loop. You will thank me. Trust me, it's peak. But while we were in the basement, I just wanted to doodle over some cringe kids book, and the thing is, right at the time, I was trying to delve into like horror art more. Where I was like, I want to draw creepy faces with teeth. I think I was watching a lot of Mandela Catalog, by the way, which I don't watch a lot now because it's like it's good. It's a good series. It's very good, but again, like I said, it's hard for me to watch mainstream stuff now. But so I'm gonna pull it out right now. Not my. I'm gonna pull the notebook. It's Diary of a Wimpy Kid, the do-it-yourself book. I had this in my room, and I was like, I just want to draw over it and make it look very creepy. And you can obviously see that you can see the character. Obviously, I didn't know who I was drawing at this point. I just drew over it, so I was like, I'll just draw this. I'll draw him look creepy and all that. And it became this analog horror slop where I would just make memes all over the paper, and I would put like creepy faces and put stupid tidbits of lore like curiosity kills a cat. What was she thinking going into that house? Just so much dumb slop that I would put over these little panels and stupid freaking like this was not supposed to happen. And then like after like the more I went, the better I felt. I was like, dude, this character I'm making is freaking awesome. I love this freaking guy. As you can see, his faces and a girl that he's like killing or whatever. I don't know what the concept like was that, but it was basically the initial concept was like, oh, it's this weird guy who has this like has this girl that he's like keeping in his house, and she is like struggling, like obviously you can see her, and he's like having dates with her, but it's this like unsettling thing where it's like she doesn't want to be there, and he's holding her hostage basically. They can't tell it's hostage. It's just really cool, and I just kept going and going, and it became this slop where it was just obviously you can see this is not what the initial drawing looks like, but it became this freaking slop. It was honestly awesome. You can see that I filled in the comics here where I was like, she wasn't going home. It was a wrong turn. Why didn't you listen? Now you're stuck with me. Damn you and all that. It was a dark night when she decided to take a wrong turn. Everyone knew the path, but she didn't. So it just became this analog horror slop. It didn't have to hurt, but you just made it worse. So I just made these random little lines that were trying to be scary, and it became this. So, and I was like, I like this guy a lot. I kind of want to do something with him, and I did. And so in high school, I made this entire series. The first one was called Lost in Carvingham Woods, because this guy's name is Ivan Carvingham. I know, that's one of the best names I've ever had. And he's this mysterious guy in the middle of the woods in this weird shed that it's this weird story that you don't really know yet, because it's the only way you can tell what the story is with these two journals I made. I made two like diaries because I was inspired by this dog shit. So I'd have like empty small notebooks, and the first one, the first like diary was Ivan's diary. So I would make Ivan scribbling all of his madness, saying like, "Oh, I have this girl that she came to like, she drove up to my house in a weird like uniform, and there was red and blue lights, and so I took her in, and I made her mine, and I know who she is, and like I hate her, and I'm gonna take her, I'm gonna kill her." And he's obviously everything he writes doesn't make any sense because he's like actually just not like a right in the head. But that's explainable because of other reasons. So that was the first diary, and I taped that diary to a big poster board, and I'll show you these two poster boards. But the diaries are actually ripped off of them because I wonder if I have them somewhere. I'm gonna try looking for the diaries I taped to the poster boards, and then on the rest of the poster boards, I would draw all the police reports and the lore. So like I'm reading them right now. But I made one. It was basically every poster was the series. So the first poster is the first series, first actual novel or the first section of lore where it talks about Ivan and how he takes this random woman, and this woman's walks around his house when Ivan's like this. She's held hostage. She can't do anything because Ivan will like kill her or whatever. Um, and she walks around the house and sees all these corpses, all these stuffed corpses that are preserved very very well, and she can't escape. Also, my song is ending again. No, no. What is playing? First of all, an ad's playing. Waiting. It's Revelations 13:1. That's not very calming. But yeah, let me go grab the notebooks. Let's see. Please let me find these quick. Yeah. Okay. It might take me a while, guys. Hang on. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Alright. Yes, I found one. Now I gotta find the other. Yeah. Ooh, I might as well show that as well. That's pretty cool. I'm whipping out extra things, guys. I know it sounds weird. Where are you? I know you're somewhere down here. Oh, come on. I will find it, guys. I will find it. For you. Oh, for you. I know it's somewhere down here, bro. Come on. Okay. Okay. It must be somewhere else. Hey. Okay, maybe it's over here somewhere. Thank God I got this calming music. I don't actually know where it is. I literally have to have it somewhere. I don't believe I don't have it. Oh, come on. It's somewhere. It's somewhere. Oh wait, maybe it's in here. Oh, I found it. Let's go. Let's go. I found it, you guys. I found it. I found both of them, actually. I also have this cool painting that I did in high school. So, like, I'll show you that, too. But I want to explain this first. So, like I said, I would make the diaries first and then put them on a cool poster board. So the diary would be plastered to the poster board on like this. This is the second entry. That's some more lore. So this is the first diary made by Ivan. That was recovered and put on the poster board police report. It's not how a police report would actually be done, but that's a cool thing that way. So like obviously you can see here, like day 1 he would write, and then he would draw and he'd put these like schizophrenic paragraphs and stuff, saying like he feels a connection with her. Just a lot of weird stuff. Telling her to stop crying, telling her that he gives her chances, that she's not in the wrong hands. Asking himself if it's kidnapped, saying he's a freak. She calls me a freak, and she cries every night. Um, Saying there's blood on his hands. He didn't mean to. Today's a bad day. I hurt her, but it was an accident. And then as you can see here, I included the original tidbits from this diary as little like lore. So I put like it was a dark night when she decided to take a wrong turn. Everyone knew about the path, but she didn't. And that's in this old one too. But this one was not like me just like, oh, I'm thinking of Laura. I just did that because I was bored. She wasn't going home. It was a wrong turn. Now you're stuck with me, damn you, and all that. She keeps asking to go home to her family. I can't let that happen. I'd rather break every bone in my body than let her escape from my care. She has to get used to it, all that. He takes care of her, even though she's like very, very unwilling. And you can see him talking to her and all that. Just cool little lore bits. So like this isn't him drawing himself, but it's like this is technically his diary. But I would like put like these moments in it where it's like also what he looks like and what he's doing at the moment. So this isn't like him drawing himself, but it is technically. But today's a good day. I gave her some things to occupy her. I gave her my favorite hat. Maybe I'll occupy her too. How about we play hide and seek and all that? Just very weird stuff. I had this cool one where he's just there's nothing. There's no writing at all. Just him. So I'll put these weird things in there, and then day 5, he's planning something big. He's gonna go. It's gonna be a special dinner, where he has candles, and he talks about his house. My house is a place of warmth and joy. It's made of wood and it is in the middle of a forest. I love the cellar. It's the best. That is where I work, play, and rest. I also love my attic. I keep all my best friends up there. I do not like the basement. There's a hissing sound and it fills me with unknown hate and fear. I have a garbage tube, but I barely use it, and when I do, it's for things that I cannot explain. So it's obviously just weird rambling things. And then, he's at the table with her, asking her if she wants wine, saying something's different in her eyes, saying like she looks different today, that she's brave or affectionate or something, or just she just looks kind or something, or looks somehow comfortable, but she's not. Ivan's just mentally unwell. And then he talks about his friends, which are the corpses that she sees around the house, and the corpses tie into the story they're very, very, very important. So the first one that he talks about is Brian Smithlocks, or the Man in the Wall. Brian is one of my first friends I've ever had. He was and still is a nice, sharp, clean kind of guy. He sits in my attic and gives me some good life advice. Sometimes he scares me, but he doesn't mean to do it, right? So Brian is the first victim. Brian was originally a hiker that fell to the fate of Ivan, and Brian's soul is enraged, and so he basically torments Ivan. But Ivan sees that torment as love instead, because he made Brian into what he is. He turned him into a taxidermy human. And then Brian wakes the lady up when she's distressed and in bed. He tells her to escape, and she says that she can't get out. And then you can see the text is different. So this is actually Brian speaking through Ivan's notebook. He says, "What you did was wrong. What you're doing is wrong. I didn't do anything. I was innocent, just like you. She can still be saved. You can still be saved. She can go. You can run, and no one will know. But I'll have to stay for now." So that's Brian basically talking to Ivan, saying, "Just release her." And then you can see how text immediately changes, how it's scribbly. So it says back to Ivan. I thought it was a really cool thing. So she's a nice woman. She's good to be my friend. She's helped me with chores. Saying there's a connection. And now he can finally sculpt her and keep her forever. So that's his plan, is to actually finally kill her. And then Brian talks through her again. He's like, "I know you have a plan." He talks to the girl. He's like, you have to kill him. I can see in your eyes. Help us break this vicious cycle of a thing that we were going through. Release us from prison, basically. Don't become like us, otherwise more people will just become dead. And then we have this mysterious, just more mysterious filler stuff. Day 8. I'm not doing anything drawing, but whatever. Ivan is gonna begin the sculpting, but the lady uh, who's getting like all this advice from Brian's soul. Uh, grabs a pair of scissors and is ready to kill, like, just to stop Ivan from killing her. She's like, "Oh no, I'm gonna die. I gotta stop this." And Brian's speaking. He says there's actually another body in the basement. It was long dead. It was a cop just like you. It's just another one of his sick projects. And that corpse is actually her brother, who was also in law enforcement. Because the lady and her brother were in law enforcement. That's why they were at the house initially. And so all throughout this, there, stuff is happening. And then she's hiding under the bed, waiting to kill Ivan. And then Ivan is about ready to stab her, but she's holding a pair of scissors in her hand. She's pretending to sleep, but then as soon as Ivan's about to stab her, Ivy's like comes out, tear up the notebook, and I'll read along with it. And then you get this cursive text, which is from the body in the basement, her brother, saying to just kill him. Oh wait, guys, can we get a minus 3 million point billion? This cursive text is actually her. I don't know why I said it was her brother, but she's saying to herself like, just kill him, but she can't, for some reason. And now we have her brother, who's this guy. You can tell they're related because this guy is shaped like this. And now that I realize it, this looks like Bois Vert. I promise you this was before Bois Vert. This was a long goddamn time ago. But he looks like this, she looks like that. So like, that's how you can tell they're related. He tells her everything must end and that you should kill him now. And so none of this is like, they're not like there and physically with her. This is all while she's going through like the very slow panic that Ivan's like raised the knife above her, right about to kill her. And they all tell her to do it now. And she stabs Ivan in the freaking eyeballs. Like she grabs a pair of scissors like this, and she stabs it in both of his eyes, and he can't see, and he's like in agony. He tells her that the door's locked. It's this horrific, fast screaming moment. And then may the family thrive with tranquility. And he ends up killing Harbor anyways. So it's like this. Oh well, fuck. She dies anyway. And then Ivan, actually immobilized and blind, he runs off into the woods with Brian, who is actually enraged because Brian's like, no, she didn't do it. And so Brian's going to torment her and tells him to run away. So Ivan hides in the middle of the woods, saying that he can't cry and he can't die either. And then the last words are, find Ivan. And then it's the end, good night. So that is the first little bit. And I also have the poster of the police report of that first incident. And then I have the second notebook, which is from a guy called John Stackwood. And I mentioned there's a name in here called there's a sentence at the very end where it says, may the Stackwood family like rest in peace or whatever. But this is from John Stackwood, and there's not been a John. Her brother wasn't named yet. There's Brian. We don't have the girl's name. We only know Ivan and Brian, and that's it. And we know the Stackwoods, so we know that she's a Stackwood, and that her brother is a Stackwood, but Brian is not a Stackwood, and Ivan is Ivan Carvingham. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, I guess. What do you mean by that? So this is by John Stackwood, and John is the father. And guess what? He's also in police. He's also in the police force, but he's like retired or whatever. Well, he's not retired, but he's still in the police force. And he is the police force that's going to this house. They're like again, this is on a different like planet, so but the police force is not the best. They are horrible. And this is him. You can see this is not like scribbly anymore. This is actually just him writing on paper. Whereas like, oh, I have logs instead of like scriptures. So it's like, this is the father. Like, my 2 children are missing, and the police force is doing nothing about it. So I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and figure out what's going on here. And that's all this, where he's like, he can't live like this, and then he has an idea, and he throws his badge away in the trash. He says he had to do it, and then he gets visions of Ivan speaking to him, and he wakes up in panic. Yes, he goes to the house. He brings his gun with him because he's ready to like find his family or find his daughter and son and try to save them from this guy. And so he does that. He leaves the police force because they are horrible and do their job. There's a lot of cool text. And then I brought it back. It was a dark night when he decided to take a wrong turn. So I've brought this back from this to the other novel and then this one. So I'm bringing this motif back. So he crashes into a tree and his car is broken down. He crashes his car and he ends up trapped anyways at Ivan's house. So it's like, oh well, crap, now he just can't leave. He has to do what he has to do. And he goes into the house, but Ivan is not there because Ivan's in the woods, remember? And then John smells all this horrible smell. Says the house is messing with him. He goes up to the attic, and in there is Brian, the hiker. And I'll show this to you guys. I'll show all of you the corpses. Again, it's not the best drawing because this is still a while ago. And Brian is saying an intruder, but he's not actually saying it. This is his soul after being trapped for so long. Brian thinks an intruder, but it's actually just John. And then Brian has a nice deep talk with him. And John realizes who this is, that this is actually the hiker. So he knows who this is. Also, I dropped my pencil. I can't freaking find it. Brian is like, well, this is the officer. And the officer's like, well, this is Brian. And then they have a good talk. Somehow, Brian talks to him because he's a soul. And he tells him, he's like, hear me, John. Do not go. There are things you should know. The killer's coming. I'm not rotting. I'm preserved like the others. You must find him, find them, so that we can rest and all that. And then he leaves Brian. He tries to find other corpses, and he's like, well, oh no. Is my daughter and son, are they alive anymore? So he goes into the basement, and you guys already know what's in the basement. He says there's a weird smell, and that's when he finds his son, also taxidermied and dead. And yeah, a very sad moment. But then Tom speaks to him as well. He's saying like, Father, you need to listen. And this is where you can see Tom's text, which I thought I add some cool additions where it's like all weird, and I made T's everywhere to represent Tom. So every character has their own like text styles, and that's what I really like about the series. He says like, Father, you came, but I'm already dead. I linger as a ghost. I can't speak too much. Father, find her and find him. So, he's enraged. He wants to kill this kid. He wants to kill this goober that killed his family. And then Tom and Brian realize that, oh, Ivan is approaching the house. John, you need to do something because he's here and he's gonna kill you. But then he doesn't know that yet, so he's gonna check the last room, which is the bedroom. And he gets this very slow moment that leads into the bedroom, and he opens it slowly. And then, so while this door is opening slowly to the bedroom, the front door opens, and it's Ivan coming to the house. And that's when you see his daughter also dead and taxidermied. And it's this very scary moment because it's like, oh, Ivan's in the house. So Ivan's in the house, and he just found his daughter dead. So it's pretty cool. And he's like, then they basically have a standoff. It's pretty interesting. They have a standoff. He's enraged that he killed his son and daughter, and Ivan is back, and since he's just an insane person, he's saying that he didn't kill them. He just turned them into like dolls. He turned them into just plushies, basically. And he's saying like, you're a sick freak. They were my children and all that. And then Ivan says, I just made them my new family. After all, you're the one that took them away from me. So you get this moment. It's like, oh shit, Ivan is related to the woman, Thomas, or the brother of the woman, which name is Thomas, and is related to the father as well. So you get this very weird moment, and the father doesn't remember, because there's lore behind this that I will explain, but again, I don't want to spoil too much of it. I've just spoiled basically all of it, but you know what I mean. Ivan's like, you took them away from me. John's like, who are you? And then Ivan's like, well, I'm Ivan Carvingham. And Carvingham is like this lost memory for John. John remembers a woman, and then he remembers a divorce paper, and he remembers the last name Carvingham, and you basically don't know what this is yet. I mean, I know what it is, but you guys don't. Technically, I'm pretty sure no. Yeah, he says you killed my children, my dear Tom, my dear blank. I left the woman's name censored just because it's cool that way. He says they were never yours, with the souls behind him. And then Ivan's like, well, I mean, my little taxidermied fellers, my little taxidermied brothers and sister, they're gonna leave me, so I have to kill you right now. And then, what was it? Yeah, he's like, how dare you betray me, my little bunnies? No matter. We'll all be together again. Isn't that right, mother? So, mother, as you can see here, I'll show you guys this. You get this very cool moment. It's like, who the hell is that? Like, who's that soul? Who's that dead person? And that there's a soul behind. And these souls are represented as like floating eyes, basically, or just floating people. Ivan. And so John is like, oh shit. John starts to remember like everything. He's like, my wife and like Ivan, this is my son, and like all that, and my son just like killed. There is lore behind why his son is in a house in the middle of the woods and why his mother is dead. That's gonna be explained very later on. But basically, they have a standoff, and Ivan gets shot in the chest. Ivan gets shot in the chest. You know, blam. Hopefully, I can show that on YouTube. But at the same time, John gets stabbed, and they both, Ivan's saying like, "Oh, you got me," and this guy's choking on blood because he got stabbed and all that. And then Ivan says, "Good night" right before he dies. And then he says, you can see his like all jumbled text here, as he's saying, "I'm going to die" and all that. And then the last final text here, where they both lay side by side, both dying out. And it says, "I'm sorry." And then the last final page is of the house with the moon. And that is the end of the both series. And I think I like it. I think it's pretty good. Again, that spiraled out of a Diary of a Wimpy Kid notebook. So, also, I literally have not drawn Ivan. I mean, generally this has been a yap session. I will try to draw him as fast as possible, but that is one of my main characters. So I will draw him right now for you guys. But yes, I literally made that out of actual boredom. So it goes to show when you really have nothing to do, and if you use your mind enough, you can do a lot of stuff. Like, you can do pretty much anything you want. And that includes making stories out of Diary of a Wimpy Kid notebooks, guys. So I think that just goes to show like how creative I am as a person. How I made an entire series out of that. It's like I just love making stories and stuff. I know some of it may be you heard of it already. It's just a little cringe, but this was a while ago. I try to revise stuff as I go along. Like, I'm writing with my book right now called Centipede Island. Because I made that one in high school, and I had to edit it a lot because it was pretty cringe. So it's like, oh, I have to change this so it's not bad, and change this so it's not bad. There's just a lot that goes into it, which is why I'm changing this series. But I haven't actually worked in this series like at all recently. Like I said, I just stopped at these posters that I made in high school, and that my teacher graded them very well because she's like, "You are extremely talented. I mean, you are genuinely very talented at making stories and stuff," which I felt really good. I was like, you're the only person that's like said that to me, so it's like, it felt pretty nice. Also, I cannot draw this guy right at all. But yeah, that's basically I don't know. It's just nice. I love doing this kind of stuff, man. I mean, this is what we did every day for like years in a basement. So you can really just tell when I start to yap for like over an hour. Just the sheer amount of stuff that we did. And yeah, it's pretty cool, I would say. I'm gonna try to draw. I'm gonna try to lock in and draw this guy because I generally have not done anything. I gotta figure out what I'm actually drawing here. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh yeah, I do not know what I'm doing here. I just gotta figure out what pose he's doing and all that. But yeah, it's good, just good stuff, really. And that also that Ozzy guy I was talking about. That was another series that I really enjoyed making. I don't think my brothers enjoyed it as much as I did, but I liked making that guy and his story. I also loved Lord Igor, which wasn't my creation. Like I said, we worked on those comics all together, so we would take turns and all that. Lord Igor was Gavin, or one of my brother's creations. That guy's Lord Igor was such a cool fucking idea, dude. It's pretty good character design. And I'm glad because you could tell in the beginning of the comic that Gavin did not give a shit about what I was trying to make, or in Vacation Feast that Gavin didn't. Gavin was like, I don't want to do shit. But then you could tell by the Lord Igor phrase that he became very interested. It was very nice. I enjoyed that series a lot. It was pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. And Lord Igor became this meme as well, because he was just such a cool character. I think I'm gonna draw Ivan like a weird lanky style, because I always do. I don't draw Ivan like with a normal human shape. I always draw him very lanky, because it's just a different art style. I have different art styles based on. It's not different art styles for every different character, but since this was kind of like a truly unique series, and it initially wasn't actually like originated on Both. It was just like its own like analog horror thing I was gonna do. But since I gave up on the analog horror, I was like, well, I might as well just make it on Both. But I kept his old style and everything, and I think it went pretty well. So yeah, I'm trying to make him very lanky here because he's like a starved person or whatever. Yeah, I'm just trying to make him very lanky. It's hard to do that when the only anatomy I know how to do is not lanky people. But yeah, Ivan has the classic butcher's knife. I was gonna change that to maybe a screwdriver because butcher's knives are so like done, which is why I made the girl in the series stab him with scissors. I thought that'd be a really cool concept. It was a way to remove both of his eyes at once, and kind of help develop the series into how Ivan is lost in the woods and blind but still, you know. Also, I want to get this out of the way. I'm not saying Ivan is like he's a insane smiley serial killer guy, because that gets slopped so much. Like you guys already know, it gets slopped so much. Ivan's backstory is very interesting. Like I said, I mentioned his mother, who is dead, and his father as well, who's in that series, on how they became to be. It's a very interesting, because the thing is, I named the first book thing, the first one where the woman gets in the woods. I named that one Lost in Carvingham Woods, or wait. No, it wasn't Lost in Carvingham. It was something, but it was like Carvingham Woods something. And then the second series was I forget. I didn't really name them, but oh right, it was the Ivan Carvingham Massacre. It doesn't matter because I'm gonna rename it to one simple thing when I combine all the series, if I ever actually do that. I was gonna rename it into Bloodline, just Bloodline, because that's what the whole series is about, is family, and so I'm going to just make it all about this family conflict, how the mother died, how the father and mother just separated, and how the mother took Ivan away from his father, and the reason why the father didn't like the mother was because she was a taxidermist, and also was kind of mentally unwell. But they were married, so it's like this thing where it's like, you know, the mother still loved the father, but the father would have these horrible moments, you know, with her. It's like every father has their sins, but the mother was, you know, not right. But the mother loved Ivan so much because Ivan was like her first, or not her first. It was Ivan was like her youngest and her last kid, before they stopped having some, and Ivan was a favorite. But since the brother and sister were already born, the dad, or John, got mad because the mother wouldn't focus on them, or on the dad either. The mother was so focused on Ivan. She loved him so dearly, and that would create these moments between the mother and father that would separate them even more, and how the mother eventually took Ivan away to a different house in the woods. Also, this is gonna end again. I can't believe I've replayed this 3 times. Can you believe that, chat? It's only 30 minutes long, so yeah, duh. But yeah, it would create these moments where they would become separated. Eventually, they would become eternally separated, where the mother would raise Ivan in the woods and teach him all these cool wood things, and teach him how to taxidermy. But since Ivan shared the same genes as his mother, he became this psychopath, basically, because he's not mentally well. And so his mother would die in the house, and Ivan would just like, oh, I love you, mother. You raised me very well. I'm gonna carry on your legacy. And that's when he traps the hiker and taxidermies him. And that's when his sister, technically, or the girl cop goes into the home, and he takes her as well, and he kills her. Actually, no, it would be, the timeline would be Brian, the hiker, then Tom, and then the sister, and then the dad. So they'd all die in that same house, as well as Ivan. The mother would die of just natural causes. She would die in the house, just sick. But her soul would remain in the house, influencing Ivan to do these horrible, horrible things. So I think the mother being like a bad influence is like a really cool idea, since usually it's the father that's doing that, you know. But I thought it was a really cool idea. I think it's a good series. Obviously not the greatest, but I think to how I draw it all in a family aspect, I think is really, really cool. But yeah, you know, good series. I like how it just all spawned from Diary of a Freaking Wimpy Kid, but you know, you know. I'm not sure what hand thing I'm doing here. I'll probably just make him resting anyways. I don't want to seem like he's grabbing something. This music is so calming. Actually, I'll just make it behind him. Why not? I think that makes more sense. This is going to be a very rough sketch since I've been doing a lot of talking, not drawing. But I will probably finish the drawing and show you guys what it looks like tomorrow in my Isaac video. So yeah, I will, yeah, it's been an hour 30, so, again, this is going to look very rough, but I want to try drawing him as best as possible right now, because, I know you guys want it, so, yeah, I think that just the main traits about him is that, all the characters look different, because it's like a different it's a different, it's like it's a different universe, same area thing. So the characters are all drawn like pitch black with certain cool facial features, like you guys seen in the video, or yeah, in the video you guys seen on those books. They're all drawn the same way, where they're pitch black. That's why Ivan is always drawn as an outline, and then I color him all in. That's just what all the characters look like, and all the characters have unique like head shapes. So it just looks very like it looks cartoony. And that's the way. That's what I'm going for. So that's just what I'm going for. So my throat is getting a little sore. I'm doing so much yapping. Oh, that's so much better. But yeah, I think the series is pretty good. And again, like all this just stemmed from absolute boredom, and that's actually just beautiful that it did. And that's just what a lot of our stories came from, was boredom. And I say, like I said in my, I think it was my art video, first art video, I'm thankful that our parents took away most of our video games. Because if I played video games for like my whole life, I wouldn't have done this. Actually, I wouldn't have done any of this. So I think that's just, I think it's a double-edged sword. It's like, well, at the time it sucked because there were just so many rules that we had. But again, we created awesome shit out of it. So it's kind of a good trade-off, I would say, right? Just very good trade-off. Again, this is going to be a very rough sketch, but I will try to get as much of it done as I can. There we go. Again, I'm not sure what pose he's doing yet. I kind of just go as I go, That's how we do it here, guys. Again, this is going to be very rough sketch. I think I just said that, so that's cool. Can we say that one more time? But yeah, this is just the kind of stuff that me and my brothers would do every day. Every single day. Eventually we did it so much that we actually just got bored of it, so, But you can never truly get bored of drawing. Unless you do it, like, actually every day, which, I guess, I don't know. Yeah, let's see what I'm doing here with this. Yeah, but, oh, my foot is getting really numb. Yeah, there we go. I think that's what I'll do. Yep. Don't be dumb now. Remember how to draw this. Ooh, not good at drawing arms. Again, I just want to make him very lanky and weird, because that's just the way I want to draw him, and that's the way I'm going to draw him. It's just very weird and lanky. I'm not going to make his proportions anatomically correct. I kind of just want him to be very weird, I guess. Because each of the characters, like I said, they have their own head shapes, and they're all like very unique in the way they look. And so like Brian is like, obviously he's dead, but since he's a hiker, he's like he's just a really enraged soul, and he used to be a hiker, so he would have his own shape where he's like a natural loving guy. He has a calm face, but behind his calm eyes he's like enraged. So you can feel like the hiker side of him where he loves nature and all that, but then you can also feel like the malice he has for Ivan. He got murdered by him, so. And then Tom in the basement, his head is shaped his head is shaped because he's related to the woman. So, you can just see the cool things in that. I have no idea what I'm doing here, guys. Hang on. Just give me one moment. There. Why do I not remember how to draw shoulders? That's good. I'll just keep like that. I will improve this when I have the time, but I'm just being dumb right now because I don't know what to. Again, I don't want to draw too good. I will finish it later though. I'm just being kind of rushed because it's been an hour and a half. So yeah, and I got plans tomorrow. You know how it is. Always busy. Always busy. There we go. That's good. That's good. I think all these art videos are going to be fairly long, so just a good warning. They're going to be over an hour long. So I'll be yapping and drawing a lot. So also he's holding his knife like upside down. I will change it, guys. Don't worry. Again, this is very rough. I will come back and finish this, obviously, but his head is so large and all that. Very rushed, but I will finish him. So that's Ivan carrying a very nice long knife. It's gonna be done, obviously. I know. I did so much yapping in this video, not enough drawing, and whatever. You can sue me for that, but you know, I enjoy talking a lot. I really do. Whew. But I think that does it for this video. I really enjoyed talking about these novels. I talked about 2 novels. I talked about like 2 stories here. I think so. We did a lot good with our time here. But I am getting very eepy. So thank you guys so much. If you made it to the end, thank you. Because first of all, I haven't even finished this. So you're like, where's this guy's not an artist? This guy's just yapping. Thank you for. I will show the art finished in the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it this far, because that means you just like me having on as like a background voice, or do you just genuinely watch me talk for like an hour and 40 minutes? But thank you. That's amazing if you made it this far. But like I said before, I don't really do outros, so I mean, I guess like and subscribe, guys. Right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you in the next video, where I'll be playing more of The Binding of Isaac. So I will catch you guys later. See ya.